Hello and welcome to the fifth installment of this tutorial series. I'm Chintak Herat and we'll be doing the background of this page that we have colored during these past 4 weeks. So as you can see, I have completed all the flowers as I've shown last week, and all those leaves as well. Maybe it took around 4 hours to do that. I think so, maybe 3 hours. Yeah. So what we are going to do is, as you can see in the thumbnail of this video, it's going to be a background that will fade into the background. Yes. So, and the colors, what I initially thought is I'm gonna have the background in purple only, just like these gems. But as I went along, I thought I'll add some more colors. So what you can see is I'm drawing these circles everywhere at random places and at random sizes. Right? You don't want it to be some sort of pattern, but it should be as random as possible. So if I draw a big one here, I'm going to draw a small one here. If I draw a big one there out in the open, if one is out in the open, the next one will be drawing where it's half covered by a leaf or a petal or something, or to a hair or something like that. So randomness is actually quite crucial to make it look great, and it adds that natural look to it, not this man-made thing, but it looks more natural when it's random. So I don't know exactly what these balls are, but we'll just call them something that glows in the background, right? And my plan is to have all the colors fade into the background. So the darkest area would be right in the center around her, and basically around her, and then fade into the edges of the paper. So what I'm doing first is I used the lilac pencil to draw those circles, but you can always use, that's because I was thinking of doing the whole background in purple, but then I changed my mind and I used other colors as well. For this purpose you can use a normal HB pencil and just draw those circles very lightly, just so that you can see them, and then when you use the colored pencil on them, they will just blend in and fade away. So what I'm doing now is I'm filling up the areas with that lilac color. Lilac is number 956. So these are basically the same pencils that I've used for her jewels, those purple colored gems, and the flowers and the leaves. I'll be just using them all over again for the background. So while I'm filling up these spaces, what I'm doing is I'm drawing additional circles also as I see fit, so that everything it fills up the whole area and gives that look we want. Even the concentration of the glow balls, right, can be random also. So if you can have two big ones to quite close to each other, then you can have some further part like that. There's no rule, it just needs to be random so that it gives that nice look, right, when you look at it. So I'm using the lilac, and while drawing new stuff I'm just filling up the places and see. So we need it to be light, especially towards the edge of the paper, because we want that white area around the paper. So that's why you can barely see what I am doing. One thing is maybe the video doesn't capture that quite well. The other thing is it's really light. And when we are drawing these, I mean in the finished result, these circles shouldn't have a clear border. Even though we draw it with the pencil now as a line, we need to use the blending pencil to smother that inward, so in a circular manner, so that it has that very soft feel to it. It's not a hard edge but a soft edge. Obviously you can do it with hard edges also, there is a effect like that also, but for this particular thing what I wanted is for it to have very soft edges, like you would draw, I guess, a ball of snow or something like that. So right, we are about to just finish everything, and so actually once I finished with this lilac pencil, it's probably when I thought that I'll be using different colors, otherwise it would have been quite bland. At least it should be the purple and some, I don't know, red or blue or something, just to get it out of that monotonous look. So that's why I used all these other colors with it. In the completed one, I think it would have been better if that light green was a bit more greenish, but it's cool, no worries. And when you do it, you can actually use any color you want. What we need to learn or look at in this is, it's just the techniques that we use, right? So what kind of way we do things and stuff like that. The choices of color is always up to you, and that should actually change when you do it. You don't need to do the same thing at all. So now what I did was I used the Parma violet color, and then now I'm using violet. Parma violet was 1008 and violet 932. What I wanted to do is first do one of these bubbles or balls and see how it will look, how it will come out. So as you can see, it gives that nice fading white ball, and then at the same time we need to fade the color outward also. So I'll be using the blender pencil extensively, because that is the pencil that will allow us to adjust a little color and then create those gradients and blend in all those colors really well, so that you can get that, it's a light like effect, like looking at a bulb from afar, like a bright spot light. Yep, and now Yeah, so now I thought, yeah, maybe I'll just add some other colors and see. Yes, I thought if I go like this for the whole background, it's gonna get quite boring. So what I do is I just take the Chartreuse pencil, which is 989, that we use basically everywhere, and one of my pencils. So, and basically what we use for the leaves, skin, and everything. So I took that and I just used it. It was kind of a spontaneous decision. So, and you have that lilac color around that glow also, so it's quite visible, but it's not a huge problem also because we are blending it and working with the colors that we have, so it's not a really big issue. Now I'm using the lilac again around that, and even these extra colors that we add, I'm using this white pencil to add. I want to get the smoothness on the paper because towards the outer edges, because this wax pencil it has not been used, the blender doesn't work as well. So I just tried adding the white pencil to aid in that, the gliding effect, but I don't know, it really didn't work for me. You should try it and see whether it will work for you. It does help a little, but not as much as the other colors. When you just blend two normal colors together with the blending pencil, it will just take the color everywhere and basically takes the color from one place to another, right? The blending pencil, and mixes all of them together. I didn't see that happen as well with the white color. So basically this is the thing we'll be doing around the page, and you need to keep in mind that the darkest colors would come from her, and towards the outer side it will lighten up, and the other thing is there will be as soft around those circles as much as possible to get that glowing effect. So now I'm going to use some blue. Even though we use the blue right next to the underneath the flower, it doesn't merge with the flower. One thing is because of the lines that are there, and the other thing is we have cast those shadows from the flower onto the leaves and stuff, so it presents itself over the background even though it's the same color. So I'll be using I thought, okay, now so I've laid out my plan, right? I know that I'm gonna do this to be a multicolored background. So I just take the pencils that I have, took the blue, added it. Now I'm adding that light green color. And yeah, and I don't want them to be like one straight line. I want all those background colors to merge as well, even though they don't quite belong to each other. I want them to be merged. And now what I'm doing is, and the other thing is, talking about randomness, what I did was, so first it was purple, light green, purple, blue, right? Anti-clockwise from the bottom. And then what I thought is I'll do blue, purple, blue to her side, and then it will be purple, light green, purple and blue. So even with that you need to make it random, so that it's just better that way, at least when you do stuff like this. It's like an atmospheric thing, similar to what you would do paint in a multicolored galaxy background or something like that. So that's why we go for this. It's like some clouds or something like that. That's what we want to show here. So now I'm taking that, I'm gonna do this area which is done with Parma Violet 1008, and then mix in some of that Chartreuse again. You need to tighten up around the circles with that color, and while at the same time gradually decreasing the color values as you reach the end of the paper, and being soft with it also around those circles. Now I'm using True Blue 903, and the light pencil that we use is Light Aqua 992. Additionally, I'll be using Copenhagen Blue, which is 906. When I'm coloring this background, what I'm doing is I'm not using lines all in one direction or something like when we did for the petals or the hair. Here I'll be drawing things like circles, going in circular patterns and lines and everything that is not, most of the time, not straight lines. So you need to, I guess you need to have this blender pencil. Maybe, I don't know, for some other papers you might not need it, but for this, I mean, it definitely helps in covering those white spots that remain once you paint color with the pencil. Because of the toothiness of the paper, it just fills those areas up also, goes in and applies that color, and nicely blends all of these colors together and creates that nice blurry softness for that white ball. Now this particular glow, I kind of screwed it up because it just didn't work as I wanted, and the middle of the thing got filled up with some light color, but that is okay. Just once one might go wrong like that, and that's cool. So there I'm using that True Blue to just really create a different tone there to that blueness there. And then again I'm using some purple color, the lilac, and again the blender. So what we are basically doing here is we are adding color, blending it, then add some more color and fix it anywhere you think you need some more color or something like that, and then towards the edges here, even though it's gonna be real light. You may see it in the final version, but in this here it's a bit difficult to see. And the other thing with this particular one, it looks good because of the contrast you have here, starting from if you look around the edges of her, it's all dark, and then even underneath the flowers it's a bit dark, and then towards the edges you have that gradation of colors where it gradually lightens up. And then of course these spots of white are added for effect. Otherwise, so basically you can do this background just with those colors also, right? No problem. But when you add these white spots, it just gives a different look to the background. Makes it more interesting. So again, lilac. Do use a light hand, as I always say, because it's easier to fix any mistakes that might happen. And it's like searching for your way, and then once you gradually get an idea of what you're doing, because in my case here I didn't actually go with a plan saying I'm doing exactly this. I just had a rough idea and then I changed it. So working with a light hand helps us to be much more flexible in changing course while doing this. Obviously, if you have a clear idea of what you're doing, you might be able to go in a bit harder, but it's always better to have a light hand so that you can correct anything you want without getting into much trouble. So because I used this lilac color to draw those lines, the circles in the first place, because of that I have to use it around the balls also a bit, because otherwise the line only will be visible. So we are just showing that every part of this also has some lilac everywhere too, other than the blues and the greens. Now I'm using violet to get really dark in those areas, and now further defining this place with lilac. Because you're using coloring as a way to relax. I of course was doing this in a bit of a hurry, but you can really take your time and just work on each of the layers that you will be using and having a look, and just go through it really quite slowly while enjoying how each step makes the page look better, right, as you go. So like if you add a shadow and just check it out, you'll notice how what kind of a difference it makes to the overall look of the page and things like that. So blender, maybe you don't need to go that dark towards her also, but in this case I prefer always to have very contrasty look to what I create. So I always go with a lot of darkness and then a lot of brightness also, because I like that contrast. Sometimes there are really good colored pages you can see where I don't think they even use a bit of black, right? But they are able to create great looking pages with brightness only, which is quite cool. So yeah, quite a lot of blending used, and this pencil doesn't finish, the blending pencil doesn't finish that fast, I don't think. Yeah, it's quite a hard pencil and it gets the job done really well. The Prismacolor colorless blender pencil. And because I like the black color so much, that is the shortest pencil that I have. So yeah, more shading, adding that light aqua color, blending, then blending to get those nice soft corners. So you need to go in a circular motion and drag that color circularly into just go a bit inside that white area so that it just softens up the whole thing. As you do it, you will notice what happens to that area. And when you are going outwards and you meet one of these glow balls along the way, it's interesting to color, because at the bottom or towards her, the ball will have a darker hue of the purple or violet or whatever, and towards the edge of the ball it will be that light lilac, right? So you have to do it in a very knowing manner of what you're doing, because you can't go and use that hard dark color all around the ball. Towards the edge of the page, the color will decrease, the color value. So you have to be really methodical about that and be aware of what you're doing. Otherwise, you'll end up with a hard edge around the whole ball, which is not what we need. As you can see, from dark to light and towards the edge of the ball, it's more like a light lilac only. While that ball at the top, you see what I'm saying, right? It's too dark around the edge. That is not what we want. That is a good example of doing it badly, right at the top there. Sometimes when you're blending, you need to be careful because there can be other color particles on the tip of the blender pencil. You might want to rub it down on an extra piece of paper and start again when you're doing it at a different place. So basically when you're changing places from color to color, that's what probably happened to that place. I'm really not sure, but that's actually a good example of what I don't want. While almost all of the others came out just as I wanted them to come out. But everything can be improved with more patience and time. So it's blend all the way, and in addition to that we have these small touch-ups of color. I'm just adding that color there to bring out her hair a bit more, that shadow. And then for the leaves, and that is the darkness I was talking about, all towards her and maybe under the flowers and stuff like that. Yep, that's it kind of, yeah, and then I'm gonna add some shadow there also to show to show that it's casting that shadow well. Yep, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed this one, and thanks for watching. Tell me what you think in the comments. Bye bye.